Hello guys, how are you doing? In this video we're going to talk about what do you send to investors. What is the actual content? I said it in the beginning, 10 to 15 slides is okay. First time you're inboxing them, introduce yourself, put your contact. Okay, in the very opening slide your contact has to be there. In the very last slide, very last slide, put your contact. By that I mean phone number with country code, because your investors might connect to might forward your slides to other foreign investors who might want to reach out to you, and if you use Nigerian number without country code, they might find it hard to reach out to you. Let's say your number starts with 080, like in Nigeria, they may not know the country code. So when you're putting your number in such a situation, you put +234 080, something like that. So also put your handles, your Twitter handle. If you know that you're tweeting rubbish in your Twitter, that doesn't look like somebody that can handle millions of dollars investment, create another Twitter handle, okay, where you just tweet about just your business, okay, and then include it. Apart from that, you can include your email address. If you don't want your social media handles, just put your email address. Okay, so sometimes when you're presenting on stage, that last screen, people will screenshot it immediately to get your email address, and while you're standing on stage, they're already chatting you up. Like my friend showed me yesterday, somebody was offering him $60,000. He said, $60,000, we're gonna do the whole marketing for you, worth $60,000, but every product you sell will take 20% of the profit, because they saw his product and they felt that it's nice. Okay, and they said, just reply to this email, we handle the whole marketing for you, we are professional marketers. On one condition, every time there is a sale, we take 20% of the profit. Isn't that amazing? So in the second meeting, you're expected to come up with like 30-page slides. Okay, third meeting, you are sending everything. In the third time you're meeting the investors, you send everything containing all possible information. Okay, but before that, you want to send a non-disclosure agreement. This is the time you tell them non-disclosure. So your actual serious business secrets is on the third meeting. Okay, a non-disclosure agreement means that we're sending you this, do not send it out to others. Okay, we're sending you this, but do not send it out to other people. So sometimes it's your specific design for your product that makes it unique that other people don't know. You understand? Or specific ingredients that you use to make that meat pie, that makes people love it. If it gets to a point that they are requesting for it, they have to sign that they're not going to give it out to other people. So you send them an NDA. So I'm going to attach a sample NDA agreement. It's just a sheet that they have to sign and send back, email back to you before you now send them that information. Okay. So at this stage, if they're asking for that, that means they are now very ready to give you money. So it's very okay to give out in some instances. Also, you may need to be talking with a lawyer at this stage. That means you're expecting money soon. If somebody gets to a third meeting with you in terms of investment, your money is almost ready. Okay, so in the next video we're going to look at general advice that you will have to take. Okay, so I think we should go ahead. The first one is, don't use big words or industry specific acronyms. Like when you're pitching a medical device and you tell the person that this is Staphylococcus agripanus, it affects the thorax of the major intestinal disorder. You get what I'm saying? You need to understand that sometimes your investors are not even in your industry. If you are dealing with a software product and you're talking about this is Kubernetes, and when the Docker is connected to it, the server responds with a 404 message or 501 error, and the error is just not 200. These are codes of programmer. Every programmer understands this. But the investor you're talking with may not be a programmer. Yes, he might be investing in tech startup, but you're not a programmer. So the moment you start doing that, it looks like your startup is just some complex stuff. So break it down. Always assume that the person that you're talking to is dumb. So explain things without too much words. Okay? Replace those industry specific acronyms, with like 404 is page not found. Okay, you can just tell the person that the page will throw up an error saying that the page is not found. You don't need to tell the person it's 404. The result is 404, something like that. You don't do that. Okay. Now, number 2 point is avoid controversial topics or examples. For instance, topics that have to do with religion, politics. You might think that everybody in your hood hates this particular politician, but you don't know the pedigree that politician has with that investor. The politician may not be there, but he might be related to the investor. The politician may not be there, but he might have invested in the investor's business. You don't know whether the investor has loaned them money. So avoid political topics, religious topics, and sometimes topics on gender. Okay, these days in some Western countries, gender is a very big problem, where they're not sure. People can be anything other than male and female. People can be queer. People can be all sorts of things. Okay. So you want to generally avoid such topic that people will have different opinions. Okay, so if you're giving an example of how your product is being used, give an example that everybody can relate to and agree with. Once somebody disagrees with your example, they're not going to invest in the business. It's human psychology. Okay. Now you want to appear likable, throw smiles. Don't over smile, but throw smiles. It works like magic. When you smile to a human being, they smile back. It works. And it eases them off, okay? And be professional, okay? When they ask you questions, you don't know the answer, tell them you don't know the answer. Don't try to connect to people on a personal level when you're presenting, okay? Be humble. Don't wink at the investors. Don't wink at them, okay? Because it could mean something else, especially if your genders are different, okay? Be humble, don't be boastful. Now, here's the thing, be coachable and not arrogant. You might be right on something and the investor might be wrong and they're attacking you. You don't have to respond. Okay, once you have stated, if they ask you a question and you've stated that our product does this, and then the investor comes, no, why should they be doing this, that. You don't argue with the investor. Once you have answered the question, don't repeat your answer again. Okay, because the moment you're trying to repeat your answer, it's like you're trying to put it to the investor that this, that. All the other investors will back out because they start seeing you as some arrogant fellow. Okay, if you have watched Dragon's Den, Shark Tank, you see that people have lost investments because of that. Where they might be right. They are trying to correct the investor on an impression they have about the boom. The investor is out and the rest of the investors are out again. Okay, so if you are right, stay right, but don't over push the boundaries. Okay, even if they are wrong, it's not your fault again. Okay, you can still pitch to other investors. Okay, during a pitch, sometimes 2-3 people in a team goes there, CEO with their friends, and let's say the rest of their team, maybe CEO, the technical guy. Let's say you started a company with 2, 3, 4 guys. All right, when you're pitching, 2, 3 of you might be on stage, but make sure that the CEO is the one speaking, unless he's impaired in some way. Okay, if he's not there, it raises questions because investors want to deal with the key decision maker. They don't want the second in command to agree to something with them, only to go back and the CEO will cancel it. You get? So if there's any pitch and you are the CEO or you have a CEO, make sure that he is there and is the one speaking. Alright, the rest of the team will just stand by. Now, if they ask a question to your team, only the CEO should answer, unless the CEO volunteers that a team member should answer. Sometimes the questions that the investors are asking is just to test the knowledge of the CEO, or, with respect to the product. If you don't know your product well and you don't know your market well, that you have no business getting investment. Okay, if they're asking you how many, what's the size of the gold market, and you are into mining, you should know. If you don't know, that means you've not done enough Googling, you've not done your research. Okay, who are your competitors? Who are other people doing gold mining? You should know as a CEO. If they ask question and two people in the team start answering the same time, there's a problem. That means the team is not coordinated. So sometimes investors want to test the coordination of the team and cohesion, you know. So when they ask a question, only CEO and the leader, the team lead, should start answering. Except the team lead says, okay, I'll allow this person to answer that question. Then you can answer. Okay. And don't argue in front of your investors. Never argue. All right. If you guys are doing anything and the investor gives an offer and the CEO decides to go for it, the fact that he's a CEO should make you allow them to go. Okay. If you want to discuss anything with them, you can touch them and tell them that you want to take 15 seconds to have a discussion with the CEO. You tell the CEO, can we talk? You know, you guys turn around and have a little discussion on that. Then you turn around again before you face the investors. You understand? But do not argue. Don't disagree. Once you disagree, then nobody's going to give you money with that, because they feel that this team is going to break up, and if they break up, they won't be able to push this product to success. So maintain cohesion. You people should be thinking in one mind. Don't struggle for who to present. I've seen presentations where the people are dragging who to present because they want to look smart on camera, because their cameras and the whole thing is being broadcasted live. They want to be the one to. Because of that struggle, investor kicked everybody out. So do not argue your point with the investor. Like I just said before, don't feel that they don't understand you, so no need to stress yourself. Okay, avoid sentences like I said before. You know, when you say something and you don't say like I said before, it means you're stressing. Avoid such sentences. Alright guys, that brings us to the end of this course on what you need to do to prepare to meet investors. And in the next course, we're going to look at the actual content of each slide. Alright, I will explain the actual content. Like I said, I will attach the slides to the bottom of this video and even in the next one. Sample slides, the ones that have been used by companies like Uber, Facebook. You know, how is Facebook different from Uber? You will see it. Practical. Okay, what do you do, or how do you present your slide if you are still at the idea stage? If your product has not made profit, if you don't have a revenue model yet, the first 2 to 4 years that Facebook ran, they didn't have a way to make money. It was never in their plan. It was when they employed Sheryl Sandberg in 2008 that the woman decided to fashion a way for them to start making money. And today Facebook is making billions of dollars from her method. Okay, but they got investment. They got almost $5 to $10 billion investment before making the first profit. But all that boiled down to the way they prepared their PowerPoint. I'm going to show you the original Facebook PowerPoint. So the link to the next course is below. Make sure you take it and download all the resources. Structure, get the PowerPoint, edit them and put your own business numbers, and get the list of investors and start talking with them. Okay. All right. In the future, I will add lists of contacts of investors. We're already compiling them. Investors in Europe, Asia, and US. Okay, so that those of you abroad will have investors that can invest in your business right where you are. Okay, and the investors that have invested in similar businesses closest to you. Alright guys, see you in the next course. Check below this video for links.